Yeah, I actually really like this pattern. This is probably one of my favourites. I led on this last year, so I went into the day feeling good after what happened last night as well. So started off a little bit slow, had a 180 2-0 to start, flipping from one side to the other. Then I made my way down to the high end of the bowl. I think I went to 53, 57 and 63, and that's seemed to score quite well down there anyway. And I had a 260, 270 games 3 and 4. And then, yeah, carrying on from there really. Changed sides again the last couple of games, and was fortunate enough to catch a couple of breaks for that. When you sort of following different transition, you change ends of the bowl from one side to the other. It's harder this year, I think, than any other year, if I'm honest, with the different oil and the transition and the volume and whatever reason it is, it just seems harder this year. So, yeah, took care of that pretty well, and had a couple of breaks in the last couple of games to get to a really good score.
I've decided I'm going to make it tonight. I think I'm right around where it's going to take, but this time at least I finished off with a couple of strikes and not 9 out that I did on Shida. If you go 9 out in the last frame, you don't deserve to make it, and I didn't do it on Shida. But this time I finished with a couple of strikes, so I hope it's my turn.
Yeah, I mean, it feels good. I felt like today, a lot of things went my way. So the last couple of days I feel like I bowled pretty good, but today everything matched up, and I feel like when things match up with me, I can throw a lot of strikes and be on top a lot of the time. It would mean a lot, and there's been a lot of things that have been going on, and in my personal life, with the passing of my mom, and I would just, it would be all to her, so bowling this week, with a little kind of a heavy heart. And making a show is always, always good, regardless of what's been going on. So, I'm excited. I'm in the right place, tonight. So, we'll see what happens. Today I used pretty much a Marvel-esque the whole time. It's the same ball I used last year the whole time, where I bowled really good. And then, I changed to an Hysteria, for about 4 frames, and it just didn't look good. And the last 2.5 games I went with the Uproar. So.
Well, as I mentioned on the first day, I mean, to get off to a good start yesterday, fought through a couple of timing issues and whatnot, push away, and after talking to Slim and Dell and Timmy and Callahan and all that, we kind of worked through that. Brought off a couple big games there at the end of that block yesterday to save the block for the World Championship. Today put together some pretty big games to start. Kind of just chopped away a little bit there at the end to hang on, and should be in good shape to make the finals tonight.
It's fantastic. It's a dream come true, really. I've always wanted to play this event. I've always watched the pros. I've always wanted to be here. It took a lot of time, saving up a lot of money, playing on the European tour, and I cashed in a couple of events, and finally got enough to pay to get to here. It's been fantastic. And obviously been surrounded by all the pros and getting as much advice as I can possibly get. Then yeah, it's fantastic. I was using a Marvel-esque on the fresh. It looked a bit twitchy down lane. I really needed to get the ball started a bit more sooner. I really thought I should have really tapped it a little bit more and got it so it picked up sooner. But I transitioned to a zero gravity to try and weaken, go down ball and weaken down to try and get it to hit harder off the spot. That seemed to work for a couple of games. I had 190, but there was a couple of bad breaks in there, like a couple of ring 10s. And then I decided to go upper ball because the zero gravity was a bit too much down lane, and it really smoothed out down lane the hypercell, and I just kept on moving left and getting it over to 10 down lane. It looked really good for a good 3 to 4 games.
Feeling really good, yeah. Yesterday was a pretty big low, shooting 140 the last game when I had a really good chance to make it yesterday, but regrouped a bit last night, sulked in the room, and then yeah, it could be worse. I could be a Packers fan, I guess. So after that, I had a little chat with Jimmy, and we put together a plan for today, and pretty much from the start of practice all the way through, I could stay on the game plan. Pretty much the whole block I used the same Optimus. I had one game where I had to change to a Marvel Pearl because the back ends were a bit tighter, and it just came around the corner a little bit harder, but then I went straight back to the Optimus, so it was pretty good until game 6. I barely moved my feet. It was just kind of changing speed and just slightly the launch angle, so it was good.
Yeah, today was a better start than I've had the last few days, but unfortunately I couldn't finish it off like I had the last few days. The lanes just blew open. I don't know what the other squad ever had to do, but our squad today, I mean, I was throwing it over the left gutter cap halfway down the lane just to find some oil. So when that happens, I can only imagine what everyone else is feeling out there if, you know, I'm that far left and have to throw it that far. I guess, you know, I did enough, though, earlier on to hold on at night. Now I've got 7 games to rally the troops and get my bowling ball striking. I started off with a Hysteria. I stayed with that ball for 5 games. It looked really great down the lane. It had a lot of extra back end. It allowed me to get further left than probably most of the field at this point early in the tournament. And then when the lane just blew open, it was just too strong a cover. I went to the high road, and it was still too strong a cover. It was a shiny high road, still too much cover and just not enough oil. So that's when I started to sky those things down the lane.